Good afternoon. This 80th regular meeting of the 73rd term of Baltimore City Council is now called to order. As a reminder to members of the press, as well as folks in the audience and our citizens, please ensure that if you're in the chambers, that your cell phones are turned off or at a minimum placed on silence so you do not disrupt today's proceedings. Our invocation this evening will be delivered by the amazing Alvin Gwynn of Leadenhall Baptist Church. It is our pleasure to welcome you, Reverend Gwynn. The floor is yours.
Somebody always does this for me, so let us pray. Dear wise and loving God, our Father, we want to first say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for the many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health that we need to fulfill our callings, for the sustenance and for friendships. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thanks as well for the freedoms to embrace you or the freedoms to reject you. Thank you for loving us even so, from your boundless and gracious nature. In the scriptures, you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of our city officials, for this chamber, and in particular, for those who are assembled here today. We ask graciously that you grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give them an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city of Baltimore. This we do ask all in your blessed name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Gwynn. At this time, I'll ask everyone to stand to state the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight, for our showcase, we traditionally like to ensure that we highlight and provide this venue to highlight amazing young folks in our city. And Chairman Bullock came to us and asked that we highlight an amazing young woman in his district. And at this time, Chairman Bullock, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Did want to extend floor privileges in a second, but I do want to give a couple comments. So some of you may be familiar with Sinead Dunmore, who worked in City Hall for some time, but it's not really about her, it's about her daughter, Chloe Nicole. And as the father of a 9-year-old boy, I can think about what our 9-year-olds are doing. And I think a lot of times it's important for us to uplift the great work that they're doing in our community. One of the things about Chloe Nicole that I think is important for us to recognize is not only is she performing her music, but also her music has a message as it relates to financial literacy. And in a time like this, it is so important. I know Council Vice President Middleton has been talking about financial literacy for quite some time. And so to reach our young people with a message and music that speaks to them is so important. But I think it's also really important for us to honor young people who are doing fantastic things. We have someone who's already gracing television stations, but will also be performing at the Lyric, opening up for a renowned act, but also participating in a financial literacy event next month at the Baltimore Peninsula, looking at Councilmember Porter, who graciously greeted her. So I do want to, again, extend floor privileges so we can honor Ms. Chloe Nicole.
Please give it up for Chloe Nicole. Come on up. Come on up. Stand right in the middle. There you go.
So I know Mr. President, as a girl dad, is also very proud of the work that our young people are doing. So I did want to get a chance to read this recognition for Miss Chloe Nicole, and I didn't get anything like this at your age, so you ought to be proud. So I will read this. Oh, and please.
The family can come up if you guys want to take pictures or come stand with us. Totally up to you. It's up to
Hey,
you.
yes. Hey, look. It's all part of the village, part of the family. We need you. Yes, indeed.
Derek, you'll record. You come on this side, man.
See, they're superstars with shades. The City Council of Baltimore resolution, be it hereby known to all that the City Council of Baltimore offers its sincere congratulations to Chloe Nicole Lords Neal in recognition of your musical talent and leadership to teach financial literacy. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution to be presented on this 24th day of June 2024, signed by our Council President, Nick Mosby, and myself, Councilmember John Bullock. We are very, very proud of you.
Woo! They want to do one more picture.
Yeah, we gotta do an exit picture. We just read.
Maybe open it up.
She's getting superstar. She's getting used to it now.
Video.
Keep up the
Thank
great
you.
work, too.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Chloe, for coming and gracing us today. Give it up for Chloe again. With that, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Schleifer, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos. Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, we will now proceed with adoption of the journals. Madam Clerk, the floor is yours.
Mr. President, the journal for the June 17, 2024, 5 p.m. special meeting proceedings on the council member's desk.
Without objection, the journal will be adopted. Hearing and seeing none, the journal is now adopted. Bill signed by the mayor can be found at the beginning of page 2 of tonight's agenda. First order of business, we're going to go into executive nominations. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the first bill.
EA 24-0237, Mansour Abdul Malik, member, Baltimore City Inclusionary Housing Board, District 8.
This nomination has been assigned to Rules and Oversight. Madam Clerk, next bill.
EA 24-0238, Margaret Allen, member, Baltimore City Inclusionary Housing Board, District 4.
This nomination has been assigned to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Madam Clerk, next bill.
EA 24-0239, Haki Shakur Ami, member, Civilian Review Board, District 8.
This nomination has been assigned to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Madam Clerk, next bill.
EA 24-0240, Ronnie Brown, member, Civilian Review Board, District 4.
This nomination has been assigned to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Madam Clerk, next bill.
EA 24-0241, Catherine Dababak, member, LGBTQ Commission, District 12.
This nomination has been assigned to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Madam Clerk, next bill.
EA 24-0242, Shannon Harris, member, Civilian Review Board, District 11.
This nomination has been assigned to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Madam Clerk, next bill.
EA 24-0243, Aaron Mabin, member, Civilian Review Board, District 9.
And this nomination has been assigned to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Bills to be introduced tonight. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the first bill.
City Council Bill 24-0553, Mayor's Anti-Animal Abuse Advisory Commission Amendments. For the purpose of amending the composition of the Mayor's Anti-Animal Abuse Advisory Commission, altering procedures for meetings of the commission, providing for staff to the commission, providing for a special effective date, and generally relating to the Mayor's Anti-Animal Abuse Advisory Commission. Sponsor administration.
This bill has been assigned to Health, Environment, and Technology. Madam Clerk, next bill.
City Council Bill 24-0554, Building, Fire, and Related Codes Corrective Amendment for the purpose of correcting an amendment regarding permit extensions made during the course of adopting the 2021 edition of the Building, Fire, and Related Codes and providing for a special effective date. Sponsor administration.
This bill has been assigned to Rules and Legislative Oversight. Madam Clerk, next bill.
City Council Bill 24-05555, zoning, educational campus districts, bulk and yard regulations, amendments, for the purpose of increasing the minimum yard requirements in the EC-2 district and providing for a special effective date. Sponsor Ramos.
Would the sponsor like to comment? This bill has been assigned to Ways and Means Committee. Madam Clerk, next bill.
City Council Bill 24-0556, fair wages for tipped employees, for the purpose of limiting and phasing out the amount of tip credit an employer may deduct from the hourly wage of a certain employee, requiring certain disclosures before an employer may charge a consumer a service fee, requiring an employer to submit a certain quarterly report to the Director of Finance, defining certain terms and generally relating to wages for tipped employees. Sponsor Bullock.
At this time, I'd like to allow the sponsor of the bill to talk about the bill to us. Chairman Bullock, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, colleagues. Again, this bill is about fair wages for tipped workers. I believe that all work has dignity and pay should be reflective of that. Our service workers are some of the hardest workers in our communities, and they deserve stable and predictable wages. So what we are pushing for is this one fair wage across the board and doing away with the sub-minimum pay scale. I do want to reiterate that this bill in no way takes away from the ability of workers to earn tips. It does, however, raise the floor for potential wages. I think the timing is also very appropriate as we're coming off of Juneteenth and AFRAM. And one of the things that I will say, people understand that Juneteenth is a holiday that comes about regarding the aftermath of the emancipation. One thing I will share, and you may be familiar with our president, Nick Mosby, who's a graduate of Tuskegee University, formerly Tuskegee Institute, which was founded by Hampton Institute, Hampton University alum, Booker T. Washington. But the reason why I mentioned that is that part of our insignia for Hampton University is the Emancipation Oak. It was the first place in the United States, in the Southern United States, where the Emancipation Proclamation was read to those newly liberated Africans here in America. And so the timing is very appropriate for this. And if you understand the aftermath of slavery, what we understand is that 40 acres and a mule never came. And so those newly liberated people had nowhere to go and nothing to trade but their labor. And that labor was oftentimes reduced to just tips as opposed to a fair and living wage. We do believe that evidence is on our side, as several states, 7 other states, as well as the District of Columbia, have gone this direction. And so the data and experience demonstrate the validity of our position. I do look forward to the support of our colleagues. I do look forward to having a robust conversation around this legislation. I hope for your support. Again, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I see the hand raised of Councilman Dorsey, Councilman Burnett, Councilwoman Ramos, Councilwoman Porter. You're already on the bill. So, is that it? At this time, that bill will be assigned to Ways and Means. Madam Clerk, if you could call the next bill.
City Council Bill 24-0557, zoning, conditional use, parking lot, principal use, 1200 Brentwood Avenue, for the purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the establishment, maintenance, and operation of a principal use parking lot on the property known as 1200 Brentwood Avenue, Block 1152, Lot 026, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat, and providing for a special effective date. Sponsor Stokes.
At this time, would the sponsor bill like to? This bill has been assigned to Ways and Means as well. Madam Clerk, next bill.
City Council Bill 24-0558, repeal of Ordinance 95-572, as amended by Ordinance 96-096, Planned Unit Development, Lighthouse Point, for the purpose of repealing Ordinance 95-572, as amended by Ordinance 96-096, which designated certain properties a business plan unit development known as Lighthouse Point, and providing for a special effective date. Sponsor Cohen.
This bill has been assigned to Ways and Means as well. Now we're going to turn to resolutions to be introduced. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the first resolution.
City Council Resolution 24-0222R, informational hearing, asset forfeiture, for the purpose of requiring the Baltimore City Police Department and inviting the Office of the State's Attorney for Baltimore City, the Police Accountability Board, the Baltimore City Sheriff's Office, and relevant stakeholders to appear before the City Council to discuss Baltimore City law enforcement policies and procedures for safeguarding accounting for and disposing of property it confiscates, including money, during the course of its work. Sponsors Burnett and Torrance.
Body would like to recognize sponsor of the bill, Councilman Burnett. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. So this is a request for an informational hearing on asset forfeiture. For those that may not know, the law enforcement agencies in the course of an investigation may need to seize assets, whether those are vehicles, houses, computer equipment, et cetera. And often that material is liquidated, comes into the agency, and it's really not clear what happens after that. And so I was hoping to have an informational hearing to shed more light and transparency on these assets, to get a better understanding of how they're used by the department, or if they're going to the general fund, and if there's better uses of that money coming in from these cases. And so we'll leave it there. Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues, and I look forward to a great discussion on that.
Thank you. This resolution has been assigned to Public Safety and Government Operations. Madam Clerk, next resolution.
City Council Resolution 24-0223R, declaring Baltimore City a sanctuary for individuals receiving gender-affirming care, their families, and providers on gender-affirming care. For the purpose of declaring Baltimore City a sanctuary city for the transgender and non-binary individuals, and calling on all units of city government receiving city funds to safeguard an individual's right to gender-affirming health care by refraining from using city funds or resources to impose criminal punishment, civil liability, administrative penalties, or professional sanctions on recipients, the families of recipients, or providers of gender-affirming health care. Sponsor Cohen.
At this time, the body would like to recognize the sponsor of the bill, Councilman Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, I present two resolutions to honor and celebrate Pride, acknowledging the strength, resilience, and contributions of our LGBTQIA+ community. These resolutions are an affirmation of our commitment to equality, dignity, and respect for all individuals, regardless of their gender identity or sexual orientation. The first resolution declares Baltimore a sanctuary city for transgender and non-binary individuals, their families, and the providers of gender-affirming care. In a time when other states may seek to penalize healthcare professionals and individuals for seeking or providing gender-affirming treatments, Baltimore stands firm in our support of our communities. This resolution aligns with Governor Wes Moore's executive order, which protects transgender and non-binary individuals who receive gender-affirming care within the state of Maryland. We will refuse to use funds or resources to impose criminal punishment, civil liability, administrative penalties, or professional sanctions on those receiving or providing gender-affirming care, offering instead a safe haven for those who need it most. Lastly, I want to thank the Trauma-Informed Care Task Force, the LGBTQ Commission, Safe Haven, Trans Maryland, Keith, and the many LGBTQIA stakeholders who came together in support of this resolution and my other one, and I call for immediate adoption.
You have to
Move the resolution for immediate adoption.
suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules to move for immediate adoption.
There's a motion on the motion on the floor to suspend two rules in the City Council for immediate adoption without objection. Those rules will be suspended. Rules 10-2 and 10-3. Hearing and seeing none. Hearing and seeing none. At this time, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Ramos.
The motion is approved. The resolution is adopted. Thank you, Councilman Cohen. Next up, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the next resolution.
City Council Resolution 24-0224R, honoring Carlton Ray Smith and residents impacted by the HIV/AIDS epidemic. For the purpose of honoring the advocacy of Carlton Ray Smith and affirming the city's commitment to relentlessly pursuing funding to provide for HIV/AIDS treatment and services to those in financial need. Sponsor Cohen.
At this time, the body would like to recognize the sponsor of the bill, Councilman Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. President. In this resolution, we seek to honor the memory and advocacy of Carlton Ray Smith, affectionately known as the Duchess. Carlton was a longtime champion for Baltimore's LGBTQIA+ community and those living with HIV/AIDS. His work led to Baltimore's recent extension of protections against discrimination based on HIV or AIDS status as a step forward in ensuring equal access to employment, education, healthcare, and housing. I also want to recognize and thank Carlette Smith, Carlton's sister, for attending tonight and continuing his work and support and his legacy. Thank you for being here with us tonight. In his memory, we reaffirm our city's commitment to relentlessly pursuing funding for HIV/AIDS treatment and services, especially in light of significant funding cuts to the Ryan White program. These funds are crucial for providing necessary health care to those with the greatest economic need. As we continue to celebrate Pride, these resolutions serve as a testament to our city's commitment to justice, equality, and compassion, and I move to suspend the rules for immediate adoption.
Without objection, the rules will be suspended. Hearing and seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
President Mosby,
Aye.
Cohen,
Aye.
McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
The motion is approved. The resolution has been adopted. Ms. Smith, would you like to come up and speak on behalf of your brother? You come on. Right here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really at a loss for words right now. It's been a very emotional day. But I want to say thank you for recognizing what my brother did. He truly believed in helping community, and that's what he did, and I'm so thankful that his legacy will continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to move to the consent calendar. You can find the consent calendar in Section A at the back of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? It's been moved and probably second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The consent calendar is now approved. We'll now move to bills on second reader. Before we do, I'd like to recognize Chairman Costello. Chairman Costello, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we read short titles for second and third reader for the duration of the meeting.
Without objection, we'll be on short titles for the remainder of today's meeting. Hearing and seeing none, now we're on short titles. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the first bill on second reader.
City Council Bill 23-0200R, Informational Hearings, School-Based Health Clinics.
This time, the body would like to recognize Chairman Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Education, Workforce, and Youth Committee had a hearing on June the 20th, 2024, for Council Resolution 23-200R, Information Hearing on School-Based Clinics. I move the resolution favorably.
It's been moved and probably second. All in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Actually, we have to do a roll call. Madam Clerk?
President Mosby,
Aye.
Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This resolution is adopted. Now, bills on third reader. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the first bill.
City Council Bill 24-0491, Footway Repairs, Citations, and Billing. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. Madam Clerk, next bill.
City Council Bill 24-0520, Parking Facilitators and Taxes. President Mosby, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Conway, Middleton, Torrance, Burnett, Bullock, Porter, Costello, Stokes, Glover, Ramos.
This bill is approved. And now we're moving on to bills to be withdrawn. Madam Clerk, if you could call the two bills that are being withdrawn today.
City Council Bill 24-0503, Charter Amendment, Department of Finance, sponsor Comptroller. And City Council Bill 24-0543, Charter Amendment, Department of Audit, sponsor Comptroller.
Next up, clearing of the bill status can be found on page 7 of tonight's agenda. Please note that the final clearing of deadline of these bills have been passed and the bills have been withdrawn. And before we move on to committee announcements, I need to announce that we are reassigning Council Bill 24-0508 to the Ways and Means Committee. We're also reassigning Council Bill 24-0509 to the Ways and Means Committee. Both had previously been assigned to ECD. At this time, we're going to go into committee announcements. Are there any committee announcements? Madam VP, you're on first.
Thank you, Mr. President. These two bills will be added to a hearing that is also scheduled. The Economic and Community Development Committee will hear Bill number 24-0542 on Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, here in Council Chambers at 2 p.m. and it's rezoning 3701 to 3733 to Wanda Avenue. And also on the same day, Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, we will hear Bill number 24-0498, and that time is 2:02 p.m. here in Council Chambers. And it's the rezoning of 3014 to 3030 Darby Street East and 3021 to 3039 Elm Avenue, 800 to 810 Derby Street South, North Side Darby Street South, adjacent 810 East, and 3000 to 3012 Darby Street East, and 3003 to 3019 Elm Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam VP. Next up, Chairman Stokes, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Education, Workforce, and Youth Committee will hold a hearing on Thursday, July 11th, 2024. Bill number 24-052, Fire and Police Employees Retirement System. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ways and Means Committee will add two hearings to the agenda for Tuesday, July 2nd at 10:03 a.m. First, Council Bill 24-0508, City Streets Opening Certain Streets and Alleys Bounded by North Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue, Cumberland Street, and North Carey Street, and a portion of North Stockton Street. Same day, same time, Council Bill 24-0509, City Streets Closing Certain Streets and Alleys Bounded by North Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue, Cumberland Street, and North Carey Street, and a portion of North Stockton Street. On Tuesday, July 23rd, Ways and Means Committee will add the following hearings to the agenda at 10 a.m. Council Bill 24-0550, Zoning, Conditional Use, Retail Goods Establishment with Alcoholic Beverage Sales, 3601 Elm Avenue. Same day, 10:04 a.m., Council Bill 24-0551, Zoning, Conditional Use, Conversion of Single-Family Dwelling Unit to 2 dwelling units in the R7 zoning district, 3115 Walbrook Avenue. Same day, 10:19 a.m. Council Bill 24-0548, Zoning, Conditional Use, Conversion of a Single-Family Dwelling Unit to 3 dwelling units in the RE zoning district, variances 2035 McCullough Street. Same day, 10:21 a.m. Council Bill 24-0549, Zoning, Conditional Use, Conversion of a Single-Family Dwelling Unit to 2 dwelling units in the RE zoning district, variances 1002 West Landvale Street. Mr. President, bill hearings previously scheduled for July 23rd at 10:16 a.m. Council Bill 24-0511, repeal of ordinance 01-284, Home Depot at Reisterstown Plaza Plan Unit Development, is being moved to Tuesday, August 6th at 10 a.m. Mr. President, another hearing previously scheduled on July 23rd at 10:16 a.m. Council Bill 24-0512, repeal of ordinance 01-257, as amended by ordinance 02-0447, is being moved to Tuesday, August 6th at 10:02 a.m. Mr. President, hearing previously scheduled for July 23rd at 10:17 a.m. Council Bill 24-0513, repeal of ordinance 99-533 as amended by ordinance 16-569, new Shiloh Baptist Church Plan Unit Development, is now being moved to Tuesday, August 6th at 10:03 a.m. Mr. President, move to suspend Rule 10.3 to announce a hearing.
Without objection, Rules 10.3 will be suspended at this time. Hearing and seeing none. Mr. Chair, if you could please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Tuesday, August 6th at 10:04 a.m., Ways and Means Committee will hear Council Bill 24-0557, zoning, conditional use, parking lot, principal use, 1200 Brentwood Ave at the request of Councilman Stokes. Mr. President, same day, I move to suspend Rule 10.3 to announce a hearing.
At this point, Rules 10.3 will be suspended unless it comes with objection. Hearing, seeing none, we're fine. Mr. You can keep her in here. We are enjoying her participation. Please don't. This is the people's building, and when an infant likes to participate, we want her to stay. Mr. Chair, the floor is yours. The
Got
rules
some of
suspended.
these green slips if she wants to play
Yeah,
with them.
she wants to testify.
I think I lost my track, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we're good. The rule is suspended, so you can announce.
suspend it. Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Ways and Means Committee will hold a hearing on Tuesday, August 6th, 10:05 a.m. Council Bill 24-0558, repeal of ordinance 95-572 as amended by ordinance 96-096, Plan Unit Development, Lighthouse Point, at the request of Councilman Cohen. Finally, Mr. President, hearing previously scheduled for July 23rd at 10:08 a.m. Council Bill 24-0552, zoning, commercial 1 Village Center District, conditional use, retail goods establishment with alcoholic beverage sales, variances, 6242 Bologna Avenue, is now being canceled or postponed until further notice. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe there aren't any additional committee announcements. Oh, we do have one, Mr. Chair?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Safety and Government Operations Committee is going to cancel to be scheduled at a later date, LO 22-0030, crime reduction and violence prevention. Thank you.
Thank you so
This
much,
is for
Mr. Chair.
July 10th.
Say that one more time.
July 10th at 1 p.m. We're going to cancel that meeting.
Thank you so
Thank
much. She agrees to that as well. Are there any additional committee announcements? Hearing and seeing none. Before we go into regular announcements, I have a special regular announcement. Today is the last day of the Director of Communications for the City Council President's Office. And all of us know Brandon. Brandon, if you could stand up. He's been an amazing find in addition to City Hall. He sat through a lot of traumatic and historic events, the latest one being the bridge. Brandon stood by me step by step through that entire process and stood by this entire council. He's taken his talents not to South Beach, but to Annapolis, where he will be the Director of Comms for our amazing Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller. So really excited. Really excited to see Brandon's promotion and his growth. You're going to be up on the second floor in the State House. Don't forget about the little people here in the city of Baltimore City Hall. But thank you so much, Brandon, for all your service to the citizens of Baltimore. Please give it up to him again. At this time, are there any additional regular announcements? Chairman Costello, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask for a moment of silence for a very dear friend of mine who passed recently, Jeannie Malkowitz, who was a neighbor in Federal Hill, who's just a phenomenal human being. She will be sorely missed by neighbors, friends, family, and anyone who interacted with her over the years. I'd also like to ask for a moment of silence for Kathy Wallace, who is the mother of our fire chief, Jay Wallace, who recently passed away. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for highlighting that. Any additional announcements, regular announcements? Hearing and seeing none, Madam VP, the floor is yours.
The next regular meeting of the Baltimore City Council will be held on Monday, July 22nd, 2024 at 5 p.m. At this time, we will recognize a moment of silence for the now 83 victims of homicide this year and the passing of Kathy Wallace and Jeannie Malkovitz.
Thank you. There being no new business before the desk, this will conclude the 80th regular meeting of the 73rd term of your Baltimore City Council. Baltimore, we absolutely love you.